So we did a wrap just like that, actually. It was in Meridian. It was on Summer Heights. I don't have, Corey, do you have the house number of the Summer Heights one? Okay, so we bought it, 480 purchase price. This is probably what market value is as well. $30K down to seller. Sub 2, they owed about, not important, but about 450. There wasn't really a second position on this to the seller. They owed about 450K at 4.625%, which came out to be about $2,500 or $2,400 a month payment, PITI. Property didn't need much work. It's in a fantastic location in Meridian. The problem is this would only rent for like $2,200 a month. And that's not including property manager, maintenance fees and everything. I'm probably in the whole like negative $800 a month cash flow.
How many buy and hold investors out there are going to buy that deal?
0. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either, no.
I wouldn't, yeah.
Losing almost $1,000 a month.
What's the address?
1736 Summer Heights.
Meridian. So what do we do with this property? Because we can't flip it. It's at market value. We can't turn it into a rental. We can't novate it because there's no equity in the deal. So what do? We wrap it to an end buyer.
What was the plan on it? What's the configuration? I'm going to go with the question on this one.
Configuration meaning?
4-bed, 2.5 bath.
Oh yeah, 4-bed, 2-bath. What was it? 2,200 square feet?
2.5 bath. Yeah, about 22.
Okay, now I'm going to get technical, guys. Don't get mad at me. So it was in Meridian.
It's in a good place in Meridian off Ustick and Locust Grove. In one of those neighborhoods that's built in like the mid-2000s.
It's a nice area. So
Yep, good area.
I have 4 Airbnbs in Boise. They do, on average, they do really well in the summer and really terrible in the winter. And on average, because of their locations, they're in great spots in Boise and they're smaller properties. I get about $250 extra a month versus a long-term rental, roughly, okay? Not a ton more. Now, they're not rent by the room or anything, but the thing about rent by the room is you're gonna have to have operations, right?
Yep.
Like, it's gonna take more management and overhead. So if that's your thing, double down on it because it can be extremely profitable to do that. But if you're doing multiple types of deals, like you either have to hire a property manager or have somebody that's really into this. And usually for the rent by the room situations, they're gonna charge you a higher fee. There's a way to make every deal work, right? It's just, I think if you really wanna be the pad split or midterm rental person, just do that. This is a really good strategy for you, wrap. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, but I suck at them. I'm not great.
Okay. let me finish this example here because, yeah, as the rental, it's going to lose negative 800. Maybe as a midterm, we lose 400, or pad split, we lose 200. We're still losing money. On a wrap, I'm going to close on this property. I'm going to buy it. Okay. So my payment to the seller now is this, or sorry, it's this, $2,400 a month, PITI. Okay, I'm going to go find a penalty box buyer. This is somebody that cannot qualify for an existing conventional mortgage through a very strict criteria right now because interest rates are super high and nobody can qualify, right? It's very, very difficult. But I'm going to go find a penalty box buyer that owns a business and they just can't fit into this tight little box that lenders want them to fit in. So I sold it to them for, they brought $90,000 down at 7.5% interest, which is still below, at the time, was below market rates because it was really high. It was like at 8%. and their payment to me is about $3,400 a month, PITI. So now, I don't have any tenants, I don't have any headaches, I literally am collecting the delta between this $3,400 a month and this $2,400 a month, so I'm making $1,000 cash flow.
How did you find your, how did you find your buyer board?
I listed it for sale by owner on Zillow. Yep, or we send it out, sometimes we send it out to our buyers list, or post it on Craigslist, post it on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, yeah, all the above. But this is like, this is not only do I make $1,000 cash flow, but I make the delta between the down payments too, right? So I make this 60K, I'm getting 60K more than I paid for it down. So I get 60K in my pocket day one, and I'm getting $1,000 cash flow.
And that was a sub-2 acquisition on your.
Yeah,
And so this,
yeah,
the title, is it in the new buyer's name?
yeah. Yep.
So it's 2 complete purchase and sales.
Yep, so my payment, every single month, I get this amount deducted out of my paycheck on the last day of the month, or my bank account, and then every second day of the month, or however long it takes to process, that amount appears. I don't get depreciation. I do deduct mortgage interest and principal on my note, just like I'm buying and selling notes, right? I do get to deduct the interest on my underlying note, and they get to deduct. Exactly, yeah, because I don't own it. Yeah.
So in that scenario, on the buy, the woman's gonna live there.
Yep.
Penalty box guy.
That'd be a really great way if you had that like in a Roth IRA or something that you're not going to get the depreciation anyway.
100%, yeah.
That's a good one.
Go ahead.
So what happened, so it's another, what's the transaction, when you sell it to them? Do you do like a lease option?
No, it's just a seller finance. I buy it sub-2, or I could buy it seller finance, and then I just sell it seller finance. Then I better make sure that I get a down payment, a big enough spread between this number and this number, that if month 1 they stop making a payment, that I can foreclose, and I'm still gonna be okay for a few months, right?
Yeah,
Because my note is still secured against the property, right? They still owe me however much, and it's in second position. So I can
Yeah.
foreclose just like if people stop making a HELOC payment.
Yeah, it's your safety net is you're holding a note on the property.
Yeah.
And because it's a subject to, he's in second position on that. Obviously the bank is the first one, so he's second position, so he can still call and get the property back into his name if they default.
Just gotta make sure there's enough equity, right? If I'm the lender now, or if I'm selling sub-2, I gotta make sure if I'm selling the property at 500, like I need to get enough of a down payment to where, okay, they owe me 410 or whatever they owe me. If the property's worth 500K, like they gotta do a lot of damage for me to, just like, that's why lenders ask for 20% down, right? They want skin in the game, and they wanna make sure if they have to foreclose, there's still equity there. They're not underwater. The more the better, right? Like for me, I was only asking 10%. That's the cool part about like when you're the seller in this situation, you already own this and you're looking for a penalty box buyer. Like I only ask for 10% down because this is what I care about most, to make sure that I'm covered in the event that I need to foreclose. I have to get more than they're giving me by a large amount, right away. Day one, I gotta walk with money in my pocket. This is the second thing that I care about, right? What's their monthly payment to me? How much am I gonna make on a monthly basis? The last thing I care about is price. So if they're giving me 20% down, which is way more, right? Then I can come down in price. I'm cool coming down 10 or 20K in price for them. And then they feel like they win, you know?
Yeah, but then you're definitely covered for it.
Right, yeah.
And if taxes go up, that's on them. Their
Yep.
400 would increase. Okay.
Yep.
And then
Yep, so all the payments are either done by Pioneer Long-Term Escrow Department, or we have a third-party servicing company that we use as well. So every year they're providing statements to both parties and everything.
Ryan, when you sold that one, did you put a deed in lieu of foreclosure in place?
I did, yeah.
what's that?
Depending on your state, It's language that allows me to foreclose or skip the foreclosure process and just get the property deeded back into my name, so that I don't have to spend 6 months as the lender serving the notices and going through the arduous process of not getting payments, and yeah, I just get the property deeded back to me.